If you have never heard of Margaret Cho, think the caustic, crude comedy of Joan Rivers, the politically charged jibs of Bill Hicks and the quick-witted improvisation of Robin Williams, all rolled into one but with a feisty Korean twist. Now the US comedian is about to embark on a UK tour, starting in Edinburgh on the 25th of November and ending at the O2 Shepherd's Bush Empire on the 10th of December. Cho is a 5-time Grammy and Emmy nominee and a household name in America, and earlier this year Rolling Stone magazine named her as one of the 50 best stand-up comics of all time. She has worked with all the above comics, and others such as Jerry Seinfeld, but says her greatest mentor and influence was Rivers. "I try to carry on her legacy," she says. "I feel like I learned everything I know from her." For a comedian like the openly bisexual Cho, famous for her brazen take on sex and politics, there has never been a better time to hit the road. With the daily tweet fest that is the presidency of Donald Trump and the sexual harassment revelations rocking Hollywood, Cho says the material is flowing like never before. There's a lot about Trump, a lot about race and sexuality, and politics. I get to talk about all that kind of stuff, which I think is really important, she says. Cho, 48, is also open about having been sexually assaulted and raped by a family friend as a teenager. The allegations about movie mogul Harvey Weinstein have inevitably brought that back, but for her, comedy is healing. "I never thought I would see anything like this in my lifetime. I am a survivor of this kind of stuff, so it's really amazing to see it happening," she says. "It's disgusting, but that's what's great about comedy. You can take something really terrible and make it funny. And that's magic, that's what we all strive for, to take things so dark and so difficult and make them very light," she says. Dealing with difficult subjects, sometimes in difficult circumstances, is trademark Cho. At a recent fundraising bash in Washington, D.C., she was waiting in the wings with fellow headliners Jerry Seinfeld and Jay Leno when one of the theater reps rushed up and whispered in her ear, "Whatever you do, don't talk about Trump." Cho recalls, "Everyone suddenly seemed really scared. It was so weird. At first she thought it might be the president himself. But as she looked out into the audience, Cho clocked his daughter, Ivanka, with husband Jared Kushner, one of Trump's closest aides. There's a lot about Trump, race and sexuality. I get to talk about all that stuff, which I think is really important." She thought about it for a split second, but carried on regardless, lambasting, with her signature savage humor, Trump, Weinstein and all the bad in our society. "I won't be asked back," she says, laughing. "But that's okay with me." Cho is now looking forward to getting better acquainted with Britain. Britons know their comedians very well. You see, comedians change their shows and come back with a new show every year. So there's a connection that they have with their audience. Comedy in pubs is really there to be the social instigator, and get people talking to each other and getting the social feedback working.